Let's talk about real life and not talk about after what hits the fan or prepping or bushcraft or any of that kind of stuff. Excuse the mess behind me, but I don't have much room in it right now. You guys know that my mother-in-law has been having problems if you've been following my channel, and she's in a nursing home right now. Well, this is just a start of my paperwork. I've got to get everything in order. I'm power of attorney for her. Financial power of attorney, medical power of attorney, living wills, medical stuff, doctors, lawyers, bank accounts, house, mortgage, car payments, bills, all this stuff I have to deal with. Not just my own stuff, but now her stuff. I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bitching or complaining or telling you this is a problem or anything like that, because I have been raised that you take care of your loved ones, okay? And that's what my wife and I are doing. We're taking care of her mother. That's our job, okay? That's what is expected as we come down. The younger generation always takes care of the older generation, and that's the way it should be, at least in my eyes. I'm giving you the heads up. I'm lucky. She is fully functioning. She is able to speak, and she knows what's going on, and her mental state is great. Okay? So I'm lucky that I can ask her things. Even little things like, what's the password to your laptop? Who your doctors are. What medications do you get from which doctor? What pharmacies do you use? What pain management or pain doctor do you go to? What other things do you have that I don't know about? Safety deposit boxes, bank accounts, different things, credit cards, all this kind of stuff I have to deal with. Not just myself and my family, but now I'm dealing with my mother-in-law, which is fine. It's all part of life. But I want you guys to think about this. She's made me power of attorney, and we've got. You have to deal with that. You have to deal with living wills, executors of the estates, and things like this. Lawyers, doctors. All these things you need to keep track of. Plus, how are you going to get her from the nursing home to the doctor? What about the medications? Do they go from here from the doctor to the nursing home, or is there an outside pharmacy I have to deal with? Is there two pharmacies I have to deal with? All these different things are going on. It's easier. It's so much easier. And I look around at different people, and I've talked to other people. It's so much easier to deal with my mother-in-law because she is able to tell me everything. She is able to give me papers. She is able to tell me where things are. If she had an aneurysm, if she had a stroke, if she was unconscious, or had some kind of mental problem, I wouldn't be able to get all this, and it would make it so much harder. I want to give you all a heads up and tell you now is the time to talk to your relatives. Talk to your grandparents, your parents, your wife, your husband, your kids. What do they want done? You'd be shocked and surprised if you ask a younger person nowadays, 14, 15 years old, if you died tomorrow, what would you want done with your body? I'd like to be cremated. Some things we never think about, I'd like to be shot into space. I'd like to be buried near so and so. I'd like to. Do you have the money set aside for a funeral? Do they have the money set aside for a funeral? Do they have the money set aside for a casket? Are they donating their body to science? There are so many different things. Right now, where I live, you know what they call a pauper's grave? I didn't know this, but I was checking out different things, and just by chance I asked what a pauper's grave was. If you're in the hospital or a nursing home and you die, they wrap you in the sheet that you're in, they put you in a cardboard box, and they put you in the ground. That is a pauper's grave. To me, that is like burying my dog. And I damn sure don't want one of my relatives buried like that. I don't want my dog buried like that. Different things you need to think about and talk about. It doesn't take much. I know everybody's going, I don't want to deal with this right now. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to think about that. I don't either, but I have to. Okay? Now is the time before it's too late to talk to your loved ones, to ask the simple questions. You know, Dad, you're up in your 70s and, you know, you're doing good right now and everything, but we need to talk about this. People don't live forever. You know, not before we go off on a big thing and discuss everything, but if something were to happen to you tomorrow, do you have a will? Do you have a lawyer? Do you have a safety deposit box with things set aside? Who's the executor of your will? What do you want done, Dad? What do you want to happen? It's very simple. Talk it over with your spouse. God forbid something happened to your loved ones. I mean, I don't wish anybody that way. Trust me. Your children, your husband, your wife, you know, your parents, your grandparents, if they're still alive, whatever. You need to think about these things. It doesn't take much in a conversation just to say, you know, Mom, while we're talking here, you know, you're up in your 60s or 70s and blah, blah, blah. Or, honey, if something were to happen to you tomorrow, what would you want done? Maybe we need to think about getting a will. Just because tomorrow is never promised for anybody. Okay? Tomorrow is not a guarantee. I know everybody goes, I'll discuss this later. We'll talk about it some other time. You may not get another time. Think about it. All right. Everybody be careful out there.